Hello, this is Stacy, and in this video I'm going to show you how to incorporate your children's artwork into your photo book. So for the first thing I want to talk about is the setup. This is important for how to capture or translate the actual artwork into JPEGs so that you can put them into your photo book. So one way is to obviously scan them, but if you don't have a scanner, you can always photograph them. This is a slightly blurry photograph, but it shows my setup. You can see I've entertained my child with an iPad and a popsicle, don't tell anyone. And then here you can see the artwork right here on the table. So I've got good light coming in, I've got a white table so the background works well for me. I am shooting overhead, so there are going to be some shadows, as you can see with the example here. The shadows are cast. That's just the nature of photographing this way and just using the natural light coming in. Obviously, if you can always control your light a little more by having, two directions, or to have this placed up against the wall opposite a window, which I will show you is another example here. I do have a window opposite this wall, so right behind the camera in this shot, and you can see here if you had some way to affix it to a wall, you're going to get a more uniform light. In this example I used the clipboard, which could be kind of fun to show the art on a clipboard and have that repeated across the page or every time you show that in your book. You just have to make sure that your artwork is smaller than the actual clipboard size, which a lot of my artwork isn't, so that's why I did not use that method. And another thing is to kind of create a stack of your artwork to do at once so that you have kind of consistent lighting conditions and kind of an entire setup as you're doing this. So you can see I had a whole stack of drawings and paintings that I wanted to capture at one time. And that also is a little space saving instead of having to get your setup just for 2 or 3 paintings and then have to do that again every month. So this is one example where procrastination helps, and you can do a couple of months worth at a time. So the next step is to how to process them, how to crop them. And so moving into the develop panel, what I did here with the cropping is I actually released, which I don't typically do, I released this lock button, the lock category here. You can see now it's unlocked. And what that allows me to do is just to create this window that's not set to any parameters. It can be any size at once. And as you can see, since I'm shooting above, the angles are a little bit crazy. And by doing this, I establish exactly what I want in the frame that would go in the photo book. So I don't want to see the crazy corners. And of course, if this was all uniformed and you set up a tripod on your table so that every shot was the same, you could even kind of do markers on the table, like a little piece of tape, so you know where to top align your drawings. Then showing some of the white background would be okay. But in this case, I cropped it out. So again, if your table is, a wood veneer table, it wouldn't matter. Just to show another example, in here you'd have to kind of rotate it just slightly. You can see let's see, I have another example where this example I rotated. I rotated the canvas a little bit to get the crop exactly the way I wanted it. Okay. The next step for artwork against a white background here, I actually created my own preset here called artwork, and this is something that you could do, just create your own. Basically, I adjusted any of the color temperatures, I increased my exposure a little bit, I brought out my whites, you could have a little clarity, I did increase the vibrance, I played a little bit with the tone curves to reduce, I lightened up some of the shadows, but I also highlighted my midtones. And because I was shooting at an ISO 3200, I did use some noise reduction. And then I just created my own preset here by getting all my settings for one, a plus, and then saved it as something, and then applied it to all the photographs I took with the same background. So that's another handy tip. Okay, the third thing is to see how it lays out on a photo spread. Here's one example where I actually inserted a photograph of the artwork into an already existing layout for Valentine's Day. So this was a little craft that my daughter made. So it can have a nice personal touch to an existing photo book page. Another example is to just create a grid of the artwork. So here we see 12 photographs of all the paintings, and this is a really great way to just have a splash of color. It kind of breaks up your photo book so it's not, you're kind of inserting drawings into a page of paintings into your pages of photographs. And I just think it's a really great way to showcase a lot of the artwork in one place, and then you don't have to keep all of these pages laying around. Another example is and this is a little pixelated, it's just the way it's displaying on my screen, but another thing to do is just to feature one artwork if you don't want to overwhelm the photo book with a bunch of paintings, or perhaps this goes along with the vision you have for your photo book. If you just have a lot of one photograph per page, this is a great way to show paintings. So I have one of my son here and one of my daughter on the right hand side. And then this is a great combination kind of both examples. So here we see I have a small grid of all the paintings on just one page. I highlight one big drawing on the right hand side, and then I have both the something from my son and something from my daughter. So we kind of get the small, the large, and the individual, what they each worked on. So those are, 4 different examples of how you can add your kids' artwork into your photo book. I hope this was helpful and inspiring for you, different ideas for you to have for your photo book. If you like this, I hope you are signed up for my newsletter. If not, get right on it. You can sign up on my homepage, and it's free. And if you think a friend would enjoy these podcasts, make sure you have them sign up for my newsletter as well. Thank you very much. Have a great week. Bye.